and welcome to another video. As you can see, there is a big box on your screen, and inside that box are 10 laptops that I recently acquired for $165 after shipping. And apparently the seller threw in some extra goodies as well. These laptops are a complete mystery to me, and I have no idea what laptops are in here. So let's unbox them and see what I got. While I'm unboxing these, let me give you a little context on how I came across these laptops. So I actually got these laptops from someone who was selling them in a Discord server. Basically, they ran a computer business and they were looking to downsize their inventory, and they were liquidating all of their unused and untested PC parts and hardware. I ended up messaging them, and I ended up working out a deal to get 11 laptops from them for $165 after shipping. Now, some of you might have noticed that there were supposed to be 11 laptops, even though I said that I only got 10 earlier. Well, I found out later that the seller forgot to send me the 11th laptop. He did offer to give me a partial refund, but honestly, it was such a good price for all 10 of these laptops anyways, I told him not to worry about it. So here are all the laptops unboxed. We also get a pile of chargers and 2 trays worth of 4GB DDR3 laptop memory sticks, which will come in handy for sure if any of these machines are missing the RAM kits. Neither me or the seller knew which of these laptops worked or didn't work, so I'll be going through one by one, testing them and numbering them so I don't lose track. First laptop is a Dell Latitude E7440 that is a decent cosmetic condition but could definitely use a good cleaning. The sticker on the palm rest suggests that we should have some type of Core i7 CPU in here. After plugging it in, we can see that the laptop turns on by itself without needing to press the power button. The backlit keyboard comes to life, however there is no display, and the power button doesn't seem to be responding whenever I press it. I decided to take a look inside the machine. These laptops are very easy to get into, thankfully. Here we can see that we do have RAM installed, but no storage. The RAM is a 2x8GB kit of DDR3, and after installing a no good RAM stick I had lying around, we still got no post. However, now the drive activity and wireless icons are stuck on, and the middle battery icon is flashing. I tried Googling this, but I really didn't find anything helpful online. After messing around with it a little bit more, I decided to cut my loss on this laptop and pronounced it dead. Second laptop is another Dell Latitude E7440 with the same Core i7 sticker. This one is in okay cosmetic condition, but is way dirtier than the first laptop. However, plugging in this laptop and pressing the power button showed no signs of life. No fans spinning or LEDs lighting up either. This laptop is dead on arrival. However, I did salvage a 16GB RAM kit from this machine. Laptop number 3 is yet another Dell Latitude E7440, and despite it being in extremely rough cosmetic condition, this laptop is actually the cleanest one so far. This lid has a ton of deep scratches that I probably won't be able to get out, but we gotta see if this machine works. After plugging it in and hitting the power button, it does actually come to life and boots straight into the BIOS. We can see this one has a Core i7 4600U, 8GB of RAM, no storage, and a battery that appears to be taking a charge. However, there is one small problem. This machine is BIOS locked, meaning that I won't be able to change or mess around with any of the BIOS settings in this machine. Unfortunately, this is a trend you're going to be seeing throughout the entire video, and hopefully later on I can figure out a way to get them unlocked. First W of the video goes to the most beat up laptop so far, laptop number 3. Next up is laptop number 4, and this one is in decent cosmetic condition. I'm not quite sure how you managed to get that much dust in your laptop, and someone didn't even think to at least wipe off the dust on the screen. This one will need a really good cleaning if it ends up working. Plugging in the machine, we can see that this one comes to life and complains about no bootable device being detected. Going into the BIOS, we can see that this has the same Core i7 4600U CPU as the previous one. But wait a second, why does it say that there's no RAM installed? If this is telling the truth, then there really shouldn't be any way for this machine to be working right now. Let's open up this laptop to investigate. Once inside, I do see that there is a single 8GB RAM stick installed, so that's kind of weird. I ended up throwing in a matching 8GB stick from laptop number 2 to see if this would work, and sure enough it does, and all 16 gigs of RAM is being detected. And of course, this machine is also BIOS locked. I'm going to be running a stress test on the memory once I get Windows installed, just to make sure that original stick is in fully working order. Switching things up for laptop number 5, we have a Dell Latitude E7450, and this one seems to be in very good cosmetic condition and just needs a good cleaning. Plug this machine in, we can see right away that it's complaining about the battery. Perhaps it has failed, and this laptop did not show a display upon first startup. First thing I tried was swapping the battery over from laptop number 2, which is actually the same battery, but has a higher capacity, going from 40 watt hours to 47. After swapping batteries and waiting a minute, this machine came to life. And this one features a slightly better Core i7 5600U CPU, 16 gigs of DDR3, and has the upgraded 1080p display. Speaking of the display, if you take a closer look at it, you can see that there's almost like a yellowish type of hue going on with the display. It's pretty hard for it to pick up on camera, but it's definitely a lot more noticeable in person. I'm not sure if that's something I could fix in Windows by using a custom color profile with the GPU drivers or not, but if not, then I think I would just have to sell this machine with a slightly discolored display. The battery from laptop number 2 is also in great health, but surprise, surprise, this machine is BIOS locked. Go figure. I also noticed when trying to type in a random password to try and unlock the BIOS that the left side of the keyboard seems to be completely unresponsive. Perhaps something was spilt on it at one point, or it just stopped working. So we're going to need to order a new keyboard for this machine. Laptop number 5 seems to be in great working order besides the keyboard. We are back to the Dell Latitude E7440 for laptop number 6, which is in decent condition, but the screen appears to be stuck to the palm rest. Okay, that's a first for me. I'm guessing this is either some sort of screen protector or maybe a blue light filter, but I've never seen one that was set up like this before. Plugging in the laptop, we can see that it comes straight to life and seems to have the same specs as the other models. The battery is also in very good condition. I think once we take care of whatever is going on with the screen, this should be a nice laptop. For laptop number 7, we are back to the Dell Latitude E7450. Which someone seems to have gone through the trouble of writing out the specs on some pieces of tape and mentioned something about the battery housing being damaged. This one unfortunately isn't in as nice of condition as the first E7450. This one has the palm rest peeling along the edges, and it's kind of an eyesore, to be honest. This machine also needs a good bath. Plugging in the machine, we can see that it comes to life, but it decides to ignore my commands for going into the BIOS and instead boots straight into a fresh copy of Windows 10. This is the first laptop to actually have a storage drive installed. However, just like the first E7450, there is something wrong with the display. If you look closely, you can see that there is a dark outline in the center of the display, and it's more noticeable on a darker background. I'm not sure what could cause the display to do this. Maybe someone knows and they can comment it down below. This one is actually a lower spec model featuring a Core i5 5300U, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 180 gig mSATA SSD, and a good battery. The message about the battery being chipped is due to some of the plastic on the battery housing being broken off. This one also does not have the upgraded 1080p display. This machine does work well besides the display, but since this is a base Core i5 model, I don't think I'll be investing any money into fixing it, and will probably be selling it as is. Laptop 8, we have the third and final Dell Latitude E7450, and perhaps this one will have a better outcome. Well, that's not a good start. The palm rest is also peeling on this one, but it's in much worse shape. Besides that, this laptop seems to be in good condition and just needs a good cleaning. Plugging in the laptop, this one does boot up and has a Core i7 5600U, 8 gigs of RAM, no storage, and a battery that seems to be in good health. The display on this one also seems to be working properly and has no defects. I haven't decided what I'll do about the palm rest peeling on these E7450s. I'll have to look up and see how much a replacement palm rest costs. For laptop 9, we're going back to the Dell E7440. It's pretty dirty, but it's in decent cosmetic condition. According to the tape, this machine has an i7 4600U, 16 gigs of RAM, and this one supposedly has a 180 gig SSD installed as well. This laptop does power on and successfully boots into the BIOS with a decent battery as well. And believe it or not, this is the first laptop in the bunch that isn't BIOS locked. How incredible is that? This one does have the same 180 gig mSATA SSD as laptop number 7, however it is wiped and has no OS installed. Finally, for laptop number 10, we have yet another Dell E7440, and oh great, this one also has another screen protector installed, or whatever it is, and the screen is now sticking to the palm rest of the laptop. Nice. The shiny keys on the keyboard is a key indicator that this machine has been used quite heavily. Plug this machine in, it does come to life and boot into the BIOS, and has the same specs as the other E7440s. The battery in this one isn't as good a health as the other ones, but perhaps I could snatch a battery from laptop number 1. So that's all the laptops that I got in this bundle, and I honestly think that I did pretty well for $165. Having 8 of the 10 work and having 2 good spare parts laptops will definitely help the cost down for repairs. Anyways, check back in for part 2 where I go ahead and order everything that I need and go ahead and fix all of these machines and get them ready for sale. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely leave a like and subscribe because you don't want to miss part 2, and I'll see you all in the next one.